In the bustling city of Riverstone, a young woman named Aria lived in a cramped apartment overlooking a noisy street. Despite her modest surroundings, her heart brimmed with dreams. Aria was a gifted painter, her canvas often reflecting vivid hues of emotion and life. However, her talent remained largely unnoticed. She worked long hours as a waitress at a local diner, barely making ends meet. Yet she carried her sketchbook everywhere, sketching whenever she had a spare moment. Aria's life was a cycle of routine: work, sketch, sleep, and repeat. She often caught herself daydreaming of her paintings displayed in galleries, her name whispered among art connoisseurs. But each time reality crept in, it reminded her of the harsh truth. She lacked connections, resources, and, most painfully, confidence. She believed opportunities were for the privileged few, not for someone like her. One evening, as she wiped down tables at the diner, an elderly man entered and sat at a corner booth. There was something distinguished about him, a quiet elegance in his demeanor. Aria took his order and couldn't help but notice the small sketch pad he carried. Mustering some courage, she asked, "Are you an artist?" The man's eyes twinkled as he replied, "In a way. I'm an art critic and curator. My name is Victor Hayes." Aria's heart skipped a beat. Here was someone who could open the door she had long believed was locked. But the fear of rejection silenced her, and she merely nodded, retreating to the counter. As Victor sipped his coffee, he noticed Aria's sketchbook lying on a nearby shelf. Curiosity got the better of him, and he gestured toward it. "Is that yours?" he asked. Flustered, Aria nodded. "It's just some doodles," she said, downplaying her work. But Victor insisted on seeing it. Reluctantly, she handed it over. As he flipped through the pages, his expression shifted from casual interest to genuine admiration. "You have talent," he said, his tone firm. "Raw, unpolished, but undeniable talent. What are you doing with it?" Aria hesitated. "Nothing, really. I don't have the right connections or opportunities." Victor leaned forward, his gaze piercing. "Opportunities don't happen, my dear. You create them. You have a gift, but it's up to you to show the world what you're capable of." Those words lingered in Aria's mind long after Victor left. That night, she stared at her canvas, Victor's voice echoing in her thoughts. Could she really create her own opportunities? The idea both terrified and thrilled her. The next morning, Aria made a decision. She started by setting aside an hour every day to work on her art, no matter how tired she felt after her shift. Her tiny apartment transformed into a chaotic yet vibrant studio. Canvases leaning against every wall. She began experimenting with different styles, pouring her heart and soul into each piece. But Aria didn't stop there. She knew creating opportunities required more than just hard work. It required action. She researched local art fairs and exhibitions, eventually stumbling upon an upcoming community art showcase. The entry fee was steep and her savings were meager, but she took a leap of faith and registered. The days leading up to the showcase were a whirlwind of preparation and self-doubt. What if no one liked her work? What if she failed? But every time fear crept in, she reminded herself of Victor's words. Finally, the day of the showcase arrived. Aria's booth was modest compared to others, but her paintings spoke volumes. Each piece told a story, vibrant and raw, drawing the attention of passers-by. People stopped to admire her work, some asking questions, others simply marveling. Among the crowd, a woman in a tailored suit paused at Aria's booth. She introduced herself as Claire Bennett, the owner of a small but prestigious art gallery. Claire saw something special in Aria's work and offered her a chance to display her paintings in an upcoming exhibition. Aria's heart soared. This was it, the opportunity she had dreamed of. But she quickly realized this was only the beginning. The exhibition required her to produce an entire collection, a daunting task given her limited resources. Yet, she refused to let this chance slip away. Aria worked tirelessly, pouring every ounce of energy into her paintings. She networked with local artists, seeking advice and support. She used social media to share her journey, gradually building a following. Each step felt like climbing a mountain, but with every stride, she grew stronger. The day of the gallery exhibition arrived, and Aria's collection was the centerpiece. Critics praised her work, buyers flocked to her pieces, and her story inspired countless others. Among the crowd stood Victor Hayes, a proud smile on his face. As the event concluded, Victor approached Aria. "You see," he said, "you didn't wait for an opportunity. You created it. And look where it has brought you." Aria smiled, tears brimming in her eyes. "Thank you for believing in me," she said. "But more importantly, thank you for teaching me to believe in myself." From that day forward, Aria's life changed. She became a celebrated artist, her work displayed in galleries worldwide. But she never forgot her humble beginnings or the lesson that transformed her life. Whenever she spoke to aspiring artists, she shared her story, ending with the words that had become her mantra. "Opportunities don't happen, you create them."